What's going on YouTube? This is Nick, aka Nix_Integra on Instagram. I've been wanting to do this for a little while now. I never got to it. Today is actually going to be the day I'm going to be starting a vlog channel about my car. It is a 2001 Acura Integra LS. I am from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Just a little bit what you can expect from this channel. I am not a professional, let me state that right now, but you will see mostly car content, me fixing my car, driving my car, doing car meets, going to car shows, doing some pictures with some of my buddies. So it's going to be all car content. Just a little bit about me. Like I said, I am from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I am 23. So that this is just going to be starting a hobby of mine. So without further ado, let's go to the main attraction, which is my car. Here is my beauty, the 2001 Acura Integra. Pretty much I've done a little bit to it. Well, actually, when I bought it, let's start with that. When I bought it, it was pretty much stock, all stock motor. It was lowered. It was on the current setup as far as the rims. It was lowered on Type 1 coilovers. That has changed, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So, like I said, as far as if you wanted to imagine, stock interior as well. Nothing was pretty much done to it except it was lowered. And some aftermarket bolt-ons, air intake, possibly it had an exhaust. I'm not quite sure, but the reason why I bought this car, I was looking to get into the car scene. Then I was looking at a bunch of different cars. My buddy then was like, well, why don't you just try to look into buying an Acura Integra? He previously had one, they're a fun car. So I said sure, and I found this for a great price. I actually bought this car with an extra set of winter tires for $3,200. So I found it was a great deal for the time. But yeah, so then let's start diving into it. We'll start with the interior. Okay, the interior has Bride replica Lomax seats. Like I said, when I originally bought it, those were stock Integra LS seats. I also changed it to an NRG quick release steering wheel setup. That was just obviously the stock steering wheel. Had a single DIN radio, changed it out to a double DIN. So the interior was changed a little bit, not a whole bunch. But we'll come back to that because that's actually going to be the car content for today. But I would just like to give you more of a review of the car. So let's go to what I probably changed the most since owning it, I would say. Like I said, it was a stock B18 B1. As I lift up my hood real quick. Okay, this is, it was a stock B18 B1. I actually did boost it, so if you looked inside and you saw some gauges, that's what it was. I'll go back to those in a second here. Yeah, so I mean, I kept the same motor, but I actually built the B18 B1. I really didn't know much about it. I decided just to build it. So it has JE pistons, blocks, springs and retainers, new cam gears, all the whole 9 yards. It was Go AutoWorks. Pretty much everything here was from Go AutoWorks. It came with the blow-off valve, the wastegate, both teal wastegates, top of the line, Garrett turbo. It actually came with, like I said, everything that you needed for the turbo setup. The downpipes, the intercooler, which you could take a look. The intercooler. So it was a nice kit. So I would definitely recommend them. Like everything that I bought was pretty much top of the line. As you notice, the turbo is actually on the wrong side. Just to point that out, I did try to keep my AC. It turned out that I had to delete it anyway. So if you would pick, they actually have a setup for an AC / non-AC. If you would choose a non-AC, the turbo would actually be on the other side. That was one of the issues I ran into when I was building it. I actually personally, just to get this for the record, I didn't personally build the turbo. I actually had my one buddy who owned a shop at the time. He actually did most of the work. I try to stop by and help him from time to time, but just due to my job, I really didn't have any time, and I wanted to get it up as quick as possible. So he actually really helped me out with this turbo build, so I appreciate that from him. So let's go back to the gauges then. I actually went with, I have the Innovate gauges in the gauge cluster. That's the setup I went with. I wanted to keep it more of a sleek, clean. I have the Turbo Smart electronic boost controller. I have also a Autometer water temp gauge that is actually probably one of the gauges that I like the most. It's a ton more accurate than the stock water temp, which is really key for a turbo setup. So yeah, so that's the turbo setup. And then as for the specs, I am running it. It's only running at about 14 pounds right now. I had the vision of getting it close to 500, but I wanted it to be more of a street safe car. So it's tuned right now for 14 pounds. Eventually there might be a chance that I might try to go up, but like I said, it is a fully built motor, so it could do that. I don't know if I want to push it for that. But yeah, I did actually get it dynoed. It got 230 horsepower to the wheels at, like, I want to say 220 pounds of torque. So it's a fun car, no doubt about it. But yeah, so then also with that I had a 3-inch exhaust. It's all the way back. It is a Vibrant exhaust. It is different. It's not a normal exhaust, but I do like the way it came out. It came out pretty clean for my perspective. So I did actually like, that was one of my favorite things about the turbo build, is the way the exhaust came out, believe it or not. So yeah, that's pretty much my car. Future aspirations, I guess you can say, would be I definitely want to get it painted eventually. You see a bunch of scuff marks on it, a bunch of dents. I don't know if the video quality would be able to pick it up, but it isn't, the exterior isn't in perfect condition. Obviously I would also want to change the rims. I got some curb rash on it, which kills me every day that I see it. But so that's for the exterior. For the interior, that's where the main work is going to be. I have a vision of pretty much changing these bride seats into the Type R Recaro seats and get the matching back seats as well. Maybe changing the carpet because it is a little raggy, and then also changing pretty much the center console to the getting some Type R, the Type R carbon fiber accents. I think that would look pretty cool. Obviously some people might think it's a little ricey. I actually think it's pretty cool to have that accent. As you can see, one of the things I did was the side skirts. I had a little run-in where one of them got dented, so instead I went with some aftermarket carbon fiber side skirts. I like the way they came out. So that's a little carbon fiber isn't too bad, as long as it's not excessive for my opinion. So it makes the car pop a little bit. So yeah, that's pretty much my car. You can expect me to start sending some videos of me possibly driving it, getting some rolling shots, so then you could guys hear it start it up and actually run and see what you guys think. But as far as today, I am going to show you how to install the inner door panels. A couple weeks ago I got the Type R door panels, right-hand drive actually, but with that I did want to say, if you get in a situation where you buy Type R door panels and you notice that the right-hand drive, which I did, it is very simple. Obviously the main control for your power windows and mirrors would be on the opposite side, but this layout is the exact same size as the other one, so you could actually just transfer them, which I found out, so thank God it worked and I really didn't waste the money. And then the other thing, which again I would like to show you guys, which some people might not like it, they might say it's destroying the integrity of the door panel and all of that. I personally like it, I like the way it looks, but the Type R door panels, I don't know if it's the way with all of them, but they don't have this door speaker in it. But if you look, which is what I'm going to show you, they have the cutout in the back. So I personally cut this out and I wanted to test fit it before I showed you guys to make sure it would work for my first vlog. So it actually does work. Everything clicks on. It is pretty nice and easy. So I will show you guys that, and then I'll show you the process of taking the old door panel off, putting the new one on, putting the switch plugs and all of that. So let's get right to it then. Oh, one more thing, I almost forgot. Like I told you guys, when I originally got this car, it was on Type 1 coilovers. It was actually lower than what it sits right now, but due to the turbo, the turbo build that I had, the downpipe, which I'll show you guys right now, the downpipe, if you can see it, you see how close that is to the ground? I actually raised my car up from where it was by like an inch and a half, and it still was scraping like crazy. So out of pretty much necessity, but I wanted to do it eventually anyway. I was able to set you down. Out the old Type 1 coilover setup, and then I put in the an air suspension, air ride setup, whatever you guys like to consider it. So that way I don't have to worry about raising it up for life. I do like the look of it being lower like that, so the air suspension was pretty much bought for a necessity, but it was also something I would love to do anyway. So I just went up and did it. So it's nice. I really enjoy it. I'll show you the controller quick. So this is actually the controller that I got. It has 8 different settings, preset settings, or you could obviously do it in manual. My other buddy that actually dynoed my car for me, he's the one that installed it. It was a super sweet deal. He only installed the whole setup and got it going for like $600. I mean, I know I did it. I know it's nothing special. I didn't have no show-worthy trunk setup. But like I said, for what I needed it was pretty much just to get my car up when I was driving, so I wouldn't have to worry about ripping my downpipe and my exhaust off. So it does the job, and then as you can see, it still then drops it when I'm stopped to get it lower and get it the way that I like it. So that is the one thing about my car that I forgot. But like I said, it was on Type 1 coilovers, and then I went to an air suspension setup, and actually I could tell you it was the Airlift Performance Kit, the Autopilot V2. So that's a setup I ran with. It was actually one of the cheaper setups to run. It costed about the whole setup was maybe $2,500, and then plus the $600 just to install it. So it was expensive, but for me it was worth the money due to it was a necessity for safety of my car, and as well as me wanting to do it in the future eventually anyway. So it worked out pretty well. So now that concludes pretty much the tour of my car. Now let's get back to the door panel like I explained before. I'll show you what I did and how I went about it. Okay, and we're back. So here's the Type R door panel for the passenger side. Like I said, this door switch actually came on the driver's, the left side door panel that I installed. They are actually able to switch out. You just have to switch it out, switch the nameplate. The wires obviously inside the original door panel will be direct replacement, just plug-ins. So that's pretty nice. And then like I said, there's actually no no cutout. Like this is the driver's side door, but there's no cutout for that side speaker. So what I found out is there is a template on the back of the door. Right here, it's a little hard to see, where you could actually follow that path, and it's actually the cutout of this. So then I'm going to go into the process of what I did to get this cutout taken out, and then what I did to get that other door, door speaker in then for you. So I'm going to get set up, and we'll go from there. Okay, I am set up to start cutting the hole out for the door panel, speaker. I will show you quick what tools I use. I actually use a roto-zip drill. I use that for cutting the initial template. As you'll see in the video, what I actually do is I just pierce the plastic where I don't actually go through the fabric on the other side, just in case I mess up. And then what I do then is I also then use a pocket knife to finish out the initial cut. Okay, I am set up to start cutting the hole out for the door panel, speaker. I will show you quick what tools I use. I actually use a roto-zip drill. I use that for cutting the initial template. As you'll see in the video, what I actually do is I just pierce the plastic where I don't actually go through the fabric on the other side, just in case I mess up. And then what I do then is I also then use a pocket knife to finish out the initial cut of the door speaker then. So I'm going to get started then. The trace out of the door. I don't cut it all the way through, so that way if you mess up, there is actually no fabric that is ruined. So now what I do is I take my pocket knife and then I just trim the plastic out. So then that's sort of how it's like. Then you're just left with pretty much an empty hole for now until you get the door speaker in. I know it's not exactly a factory cutout, but it'll do the job. And then I just touch up these spots right here. So yeah, so that's how to create a speaker hole for your door panel. So I'm actually going to pause the video here, and due to it getting dark out, and I will resume it now. Okay guys, it's the next day. Today I'm going to finish out this video, show you the process of taking out the passenger door panel, and then pretty much installing this one and what you might run into and what you might need to do to swap door panels. Okay, and without further ado, now let's start the process of taking out this old door panel. So to do this process, all you're really gonna need is a small flathead, and you'll see why in a minute, and as well as a Phillips head. So pretty much to start, what you do is there's a little cover underneath your door handle. You just pop that out to expose the Phillips head screw. That's one screw you take out. Then you also have a screw on the inside of the door trim. You pop that out. And then the last screw is actually inside this the hand where you the hand closer. You go and get that out. So then so I don't lose my screws, I usually just put all the screws back in this little holder here, and then I set it somewhere. And now pretty much it should start to just pull out. You might have clips, you might have to pull it out some, and then you just pretty much lift it up and out. Okay, so now on the back side, there's actually some plugs. So after you get all the screws out and the door panel off, you look behind the door panel. There is a couple wire connections on your door switch, your door speaker, and as well as your power windows. To release them, they are actually just a push method. So there's going to be like a little release button on them. You just push them out and pull them out. It's nothing too hard. It should just pretty much come right out. So then once that's done, you actually have your door panel off then. So now we're gonna we're gonna swap over the door speaker, and as well as the trim, because on mine there was no new trim with the new door. So I'm gonna swap that over as well then. Okay, let's start the process of actually taking out this old door speaker off the old door panel, and then transferring it over to the new door panel. And actually, I almost forgot, the one screw that actually goes right here has some sort of rubber, I would guess molly or washer, or however you want, a clip that slides into it, that slides into the actual frame of the door. So make sure you don't lose this, and make sure you take it out and then transfer it over to the new door. Here's a little close-up for you. So yeah, but now like I said, let's start with taking out this door speaker. So pretty much, if you flip it to the back, all it is two screws on the back side here. So you just take your Phillips head screwdriver, you just unscrew that. Unscrew the other one. And then your actual speaker portion will come out. Set that down, and then your cover then would come out afterwards for you. So then we can, this door panel is actually all disassembled for what I need, except for these door clips, which I'll show you real quick. These plastic clips here actually also what go into the frame of the door on other sections. So on my new door panel, I'm actually noticed I'm missing 3 of them. So to take these out, they just slide right out, and then I would just like to slide these in to make my new door panel a little bit more sturdier. So then you just slide these in if you're missing some. They're nice and easy. Slide them out, slide them in. Okay, so now with all those clips in now my old door panel is all disassembled. I don't need it anymore. I'm just gonna go put it off to the side real quick. Okay, so now let's get into installing the door speaker then for you. So pretty much all you do is you find the hole. You might need to trim it, like I think I might need to get this cover in all the way. Actually, it is pretty nice, but as you could see, without putting the speaker in, how doing that cutout trace, it actually would not leave any mark around it. So even though it looks crappy from the back, you're actually covered because you do have a little bit of a clearance. So if you mess up a little bit, not to worry, because like I said, you do have a little bit of a cover for it. So then what you do is then you just do the inverse. You put the cover in, you slide in the actual speaker, then you take your 2 Phillips screws, screw it in nice and tight then. And then once you're done screwing your 2 screws of your speaker into the cover nice and tight, there you have it. Now that's how you install a door speaker into a panel that might not actually have the cutout for it. Like I said before, some people might say it's not really, it's hurting the integrity of the door. I personally like that look, so that's why I went with it. I mean, it's what I want. So if you like it, that's how you do that process. So now we're gonna go back to the car. We're actually gonna install this. We will have to, this door panel I got didn't come with the trim for the door handle, and it also didn't come with the little tray. So I am going to have to use the ones that came off my old door panel, but that's all these pieces are actually the same fit. So I didn't have to worry about that too much. So let's get back. Okay, we're back. So now let's get into installing the door panel onto the door. So first things first, I sort of line it up. I like to get these plugs back in. Like I said, they are a plug and play. So however, there's only one way they could go back on. So you just slide them back on, push them on nice and tight. They should stay for you. So I did the power windows and I did the door speaker first. That should be enough to hold it initially. So then what I do is you just sort of line it up. You slide in the sweep for the door window. Slide that in. It sort of sits into it. And then once you get it all sort of nice and tight, then you start banging in the door clips that you saw me change out to this new door panel. Those gray plastic clips, which I actually see one is actually stuck in here. So that's the reason why it's not going in right. I actually found that one clip. Let me see if I can get it out quick. Snap that one out. Now let's put this back on. Slide this in. Slid the door handle cover on actually right away, because I find that sometimes if it's being a little bit harder to install, sometimes the door handle actually helps it stabilize itself a little bit for you. There you go, and then once you get it sort of lined up, then you just, you gotta sort of pound in those gray little inserts. Then you slide in your door handle. I actually forgot the one plastic insert, so I'm gonna go grab that quick. So now you insert this insert right in here. So now you take the Phillips, you just start inserting these screws back into the door panel. like so. Install that one. And then install that one. And then there you have it. That is how you install a door panel. So, yep. That's pretty much it. That's how the new door panel looks. It does have the carbon fiber accents on both sides. I like the way it looks. It makes it a little bit cleaner for me. So that's going to conclude this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that I could keep performing and giving you guys maybe some good car content for you guys to watch. So if you can, just please leave a like in the description and leave a comment of how I did as well. Also, someone can please leave a comment. This I don't know if you could see it, but this is sort of faded or dirty compared to like the top to the bottom. Like the top is like a nice blue, the bottom is sort of turned black. So if someone might have an idea of how to maybe clean the indoor trim fabric, that just leave a comment on how you might resolve that. But yeah, so this is how it came out. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Back to the car and get this thing in.